I never imagined I'd be sharing this, but I need to let it out. I'm 25, and until recently, I thought I was in an ideal relationship with someone I'd been with for 5 years. We met in our freshman year of college, connected right away, and everything seemed perfect. We had similar goals, loved the same movies, and often knew what the other was thinking. 2 years ago, we started living together, and life felt wonderful. But things began to shift about 6 months ago. Her mom was diagnosed with a severe illness, and her job was getting stressful. I noticed she was drinking more often. At first, it didn't seem like a problem. Everyone deals with stress differently. But when she drank, she turned into someone else. She'd make harsh comments about my looks or skills. The next day, she'd apologize endlessly, swearing she didn't mean it. This pattern kept repeating, but I excused it because I knew she was struggling. That all changed last Friday. My friend Raven invited us to a new spot downtown. Knowing both my girlfriend and Raven would likely drink, I volunteered to drive. Before we left, she promised to keep her drinking in check. The place was crowded when we arrived, but we found seats at the bar. They ordered cocktails while I stuck to a soda and watched a game on the TV. I stepped away to use the bathroom, and when I returned, I overheard something that hit me like a punch. My girlfriend was laughing loudly, sharing intimate details of our relationship with anyone who could hear. She compared me to her exes in ways that were deeply personal and embarrassing. Worse, some guys at the next table overheard and started joking about it. I was stunned. This was someone I trusted completely, someone I planned a future with, turning me into a punchline for strangers. Without a word, I walked out. I left them there, drove home, grabbed a few essentials, and went to stay with my friend Maya, who's been like family since we were kids. About an hour later, the messages started. At first, they were angry, demanding to know where I was. I answered one call, realized she was still at the restaurant and still drunk, and hung up. By morning, her texts were full of desperate apologies and promises to fix things. But something inside me had shattered. The trust and respect were gone. Maya offered me her guest room and has been incredibly supportive. She helped me see that this wasn't just about one bad night. It was a pattern that had been hurting me for months. I've been at Maya's for a week now, trying to figure out my next steps. Tomorrow, I'm going back to the apartment to collect the rest of my stuff and have a final talk. Maya and her cousin are coming along to keep things calm. After a restless night, I drove to the apartment the next morning. Maya waited in her car in case I needed her. When I walked in, my girlfriend was on our old blue sofa, her eyes red from tears. She stood up to hug me, but I stepped back to stay focused. "I'm so sorry," she began. "I was drunk, I didn't mean it. Raven told me what I said, and I feel awful." She kept apologizing, offering to show me her phone and social media as if that could fix it. I stopped her. "Did you ever cheat on me?" I needed to know. "Never," she said quickly. "You're the only one I want. What I said at the restaurant was just dumb, drunken nonsense. None of it was true." But that wasn't the issue anymore. Standing in our apartment, surrounded by photos of us and the life we'd built, I realized something. The drinking wasn't new, but the cruel remarks were. The restaurant incident was just the breaking point. "I can't do this anymore," I told her. "The drinking, the insults, the apologies, it's a cycle that's wearing me down. You need help, and I can't be the one to give it to you." She cried harder but didn't argue. Maybe she knew I was right. I offered to cover 2 months of rent to give her time to sort things out. It felt generous after everything, but 5 years of love don't vanish instantly. The hardest moment came when she said, "I ruined everything. You're the best thing that ever happened to me." Her voice broke, and for a second I almost wavered. But then I remembered the laughter at the restaurant, the humiliation, and all the nights I'd felt worthless after her drunken words. Maya helped me pack. My girlfriend stayed in the living room, silent except for soft sniffles. Before I left, she handed me a letter. "Please read it later," she said. I nodded, knowing it might be our last conversation. Back at Maya's, we ordered pizza, and she opened a bottle of wine. Her cousin Jake came over with beer, trying to lift my spirits with his awful jokes. It felt good to laugh. Maya kept checking on me, making sure I was okay. The wine softened the pain a little. Later, after Jake left, Maya and I sat on her couch, a bit tipsy, reminiscing about old times. We'd known each other since childhood and even dated briefly in high school before she came out, or so I thought. The conversation got personal, and then something surprising happened. Maya leaned in and kissed me. For a moment, I kissed her back before pulling away, confused. "Aren't you?" I couldn't finish. "I'm not gay," she said, laughing. "I'm pansexual. I care about people, not gender." Then she got serious. But you're drunk, and I'm a little drunk too. This isn't the right time. I helped her to her room and crashed on the couch, my head spinning. The next morning, I woke to the smell of coffee and pancakes. Maya was in the kitchen, looking a bit sheepish. "About last night," she started. "Yeah," I said, grabbing a mug. "I thought you weren't into guys anymore." She explained that after high school, she explored her identity, mostly dating women but staying open to anyone she connected with. We talked openly about our feelings, admitting there'd always been something special between us. "But is this just a rebound?" she asked. It was a valid concern. I thought it over carefully. What I felt for Maya wasn't new. It had always been there, hidden beneath years of friendship. We agreed to take it slow and keep it private for now. That evening, Maya and I went out for dinner. It wasn't supposed to be a date, but it felt like one. Back at her place, one thing led to another. It was different from anything I'd known, comfortable yet thrilling, familiar yet fresh. For the first time in months, I felt truly valued. A week later, I read my ex's letter. She wrote about seeking help for her drinking, apologized again, and wished me well. I felt relieved, not because she was struggling, but because I knew leaving was the right choice. Now, 2 weeks after that night at the restaurant, I'm on Maya's couch while she plays her favorite game. My cat is nestled between us, and everything feels right. We're taking it day by day, not rushing to define what we have. Maya gets me in a way no one else does, and I'm learning more about her every day. Looking back, I see that sometimes things have to break to make way for something better. That night at the restaurant hurt, but it pushed me to make a change I should have made sooner. My ex's actions weren't just about one drunken night. They were about respect, trust, and my own worth. Maya just glanced over and smiled as I typed this. She doesn't know I'm sharing this story, but I had to. To anyone stuck in a situation that makes you feel less than, don't stay. The right person will lift you up, not tear you down. Sometimes there's someone who's been there all along. Thanks for reading. If you liked this story, please consider subscribing to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Give it a thumbs up and share it with friends or family who might relate. Your support means a lot. If you have thoughts, questions, or story ideas, leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.